You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Hello, and thanks for joining Revolution 250, where we look at events that took place 250 years ago this week. This is from the American Revolution Podcast, just a short bonus episode to remind you about important anniversaries from the Revolutionary War. This week, we remember John Adams's thoughts on liberty. John Adams had traveled to Philadelphia in the spring of 1775 as a delegate to the Second Continental Congress in Philadelphia. Mail traveled slowly in those days, so it took a couple of weeks for a letter from his wife Abigail to reach him. Abigail's letter of June 25th, 1775, was actually the second one she wrote after the Battle of Bunker Hill. Among other things, she noted that her father was deeply affected by the destruction of Charleston, where he had grown up. The British Navy had burned down Charleston on the morning of the battle in order to take out the snipers that were firing on British soldiers from the tops of several buildings there. On July 7th, 1775, John Adams responded to Abigail's letter, which I'll read in part. It is not at all surprising to me that the wanton, cruel, and infamous conflagration of Charlestown, the place of your father's nativity, should afflict him. Let him know that I sincerely condole with him on that melancholy event. It is a method of conducting war long since become disreputable among civilized nations, but every year brings us fresh evidence that we have nothing to hope for from our loving mother country, but cruelties more abominable than those which are practiced by savage Indians. The account you give me of the numbers slain on the side of our enemies is affecting to humanity, although it is a glorious proof of the bravery of our worthy countrymen. Considering all the disadvantages under which they fought, they really exhibited prodigies of valor. Your description of the distresses of the worthy inhabitants of Boston and other seaport towns is enough to melt a heart of stone. Our consolation must be this, my dear, that cities may be rebuilt, and a people reduced to poverty may acquire fresh property. But a constitution of government once changed from freedom can never be restored. Liberty, once lost, is lost forever. When the people once surrender their share in the legislature and their right of defending the limitations upon the government and of resisting every encroachment upon them, they can never regain it. Adams' letter continued with some personal matters, but then took a moment to praise his wife. It gives me more pleasure than I can express to learn that you sustain with so much fortitude the shocks and terrors of the times. You are really brave, my dear. You are a heroine. And you have reason to be. For the worst that can happen can do you no harm. A soul as pure, as benevolent, as virtuous and pious as yours has nothing to fear, but everything to hope and expect from the last of human evils. John and Abigail would be separated for most of the war, but they continued to write each other regularly, discussing not only personal matters, but also philosophical and political events of the day. Their happy marriage would last for over 50 years until Abigail's death in 1818. I hope you've enjoyed this Revolution 250 moment. For more of the story, please visit your favorite podcast platform, including Apple or Spotify, and subscribe for free to the American Revolution Podcast.